Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Want to give a quick shout out to the intern, Christopher Kaufman, for taking my place for the NXT review so I could do a watch along with the friendos for the Justice League Snyder Cut. My review of that movie is now available at youtube.com/Friendoville. You can go check that out. It's live now. Thank you, intern. We appreciate it. Hopefully, wherever you're traveling to this weekend, you're safe and yes. Whatever. I didn't really see where he was going. I just sort of saw that he wasn't going to be there for our GTA stream today.
Yeah, that's all he mentioned. He didn't mention destination. Just said he wouldn't be around for it.
Hopefully his travels treat him kindly.
Yeah.
So we are on the, this is the final stop for Fastlane, tonight's SmackDown. We are going to be doing our live reactions to that show on Sunday, starting, I'd imagine, around 4 p.m. Pacific. Is that when the kickoff was? Is the kickoff at 4 or 3?
3.
3 Pacific, 6 Eastern for the kickoff show. We'll be going live around that time. And the Enforcer, of course, will be joining us. He'll also be joining us for our predictions tomorrow morning. And if you're watching this on Twitch right now, the 280 people, stick around after the recap. We're going to film those live. Of course, his trios title is going to be on the line.
Yep.
Your big red title is going to be on the line.
Somewhere back there.
Exciting times.
Totally.
And
on our own road to WrestleMania.
You got that right. SmackDown tonight. I thought it was an improvement over last week. I think it was. Shaking up the format a little bit, having Edge versus Jey Uso main event, I thought was pretty cool. There seems to be a budding rekindling of the rivalry between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, things are kind of coming into focus. Where do you want to start? What stood out to you most of all, Larson? I mean, Edge should probably be in our thumbnail.
Yeah, he'll be
not
the
much
thumbnail.
of a needle mover.
Let's talk about his gear. You can't go wrong with powder blue gear, can you? You put some powder blue on your gear.
Boy, we're in trouble if his gear is. It was really nice gear.
It was nice gear.
So he's going to be the enforcer, not our enforcer.
He's going to be special enforcer, not the
special
enforcer. No, the enforcer. Of course, there's only one enforcer right now. That's Stevie Bradley. All due respect to Arn Anderson. Right now, there is one active enforcer, and that's the enforcer, Stevie Bradley.
But for the span of one match at Fastlane, there will be an additional enforcer, sub-enforcer.
A special enforcer, yes.
At Fastlane. So he wins that match. We had sort of talked about this. We'll get into it probably a bit more in detail, I guess, on our predictions. But, yeah, I don't know how that match is shaping up. I kind of feel like... So, again, man, I got to figure out who exactly in the internet wrestling community said this. But the idea of a Daniel Bryan versus Edge night 1 to take on Roman night 2 at Mania seems a bit more likely. If Edge is going to be there, a special enforcer, he's going to end up costing Daniel Bryan this match, and then they're going to
inadvertently, I'm sure, maybe purposely, I don't know.
Well, because Edge said tonight, I know Daniel Bryan made the point. He is the ultimate opportunist. Edge said Daniel Bryan needs a fair shake. He needs a fair shake. So
Daniel Bryan is still mighty suspicious of Edge because when he's on commentary for the main event,
be suspicious.
He more or less said, it's better to, if in his mind, it's better to go with the devil that you know, Jey Uso, rather than the one that you don't, Edge. With Jey Uso, he knows what he's going to get with Edge.
So we have the official vote for from the mods here via Maggie. She says, Buff Shinsuke's nipple slip got our vote for the thumbnail. Apparently the mods want to get us demonetized, Larson, because you show some of those nipples.
We can't do that.
Those wonderful nipples on YouTube thumbnails. Man, we'll get that yellow $sign. That ain't no good.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Man, no, he's a man, but he's a sexy, sexy man.
Yep, correct.
So
can't do it. Sorry.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think we both assumed that Edge was going to walk out of SmackDown today the victor of this match.
Sure.
We assumed that he was going to be special enforcer. Again, not the enforcer. That's Stevie Bradley, special enforcer. Yeah, but the real discussion is, as you mentioned, in the details, how that his role now at Fastlane plays in the outcome. I think you hit it with him one way or the other, costing Daniel Bryan that match. Now, is that going to lead to, as you mentioned as well, Edge wrestling back-to-back nights? First, Daniel Bryan, winner of that goes on the Roman, or they just could put Daniel Bryan in the night 2 main event to be the one that eats the pin.
I think Daniel Bryan's one of those guys who, when you see him wrestle, you believe, no matter how obvious it seems, that Edge would win that match, because he will. Daniel Bryan will put up a fight, will make it a match that you're like, oh my God, is he actually going to win this? He's that good of a wrestler.
Yes.
So that to me seems like, I don't know. I saw it on the internet. I was like, man, I know they don't do that very often, but it's a damn good idea. I mean, sometimes you see stuff on the internet. It's just, God, that's too good of an idea for WWE.
Yeah.
WWE. But
that's why I'm kind of inclined to think if Daniel Bryan's going to be involved in that storyline still at Mania, it's going to be in the one match, night 2, to take the loss.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's such a crappy way to end WrestleMania. The back in business, got all these fans here. I mean, they've only done like when I went back and looked at some of the results from past WrestleMania main events, they don't do sad endings very often. And that would be, I don't know if maybe they think, oh, well, fans are there. They're going to be happy regardless leaving because they just got to see a WrestleMania. I don't know if Vince thinks that way. I think he's just sort of Vince's regular Vince, and he doesn't like WrestleManias with sad endings and Roman winning. Although Roman defies all sorts of math, I agree. I know that Roman winning would be a bummer of an ending. I think that he would probably prefer having a straight up one-on-one match, Edge versus Roman. He likes those big one-on-one matchups. Doesn't do big triple threat main events at WrestleMania all that often either. Although I guess we had the women's match 2 years ago.
And then it was, of course, Daniel Bryan won his title in a triple threat.
That was a triple threat match, yeah.
Chris Benoit beat Shawn Michaels and Triple H to win the title.
Like 18 years ago.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
And then the first one I went to, 2000, there was a fatal 4-way main event.
That was 21 years ago.
Well, I mean, there's 4 instances in 20 years. That's once every 5 years. I feel like we're kind of due.
Well, there you go. Maybe they'll do it. So yeah, I don't know. It's possible to do a triple threat. I like the idea. I really like the idea just because, I mean, New Japan did. It was kind of cool of having, who's going to move on tonight too. I think it's a cool idea.
I'll throw this out there too. Technically, by the end of the match, WrestleMania 31, it was a triple threat bout. Seth Rollins asserted himself. It was a triple threat match at that point.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well done.
It's happened often enough now that it seems like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we're not due. I mean, if we're due for one every 5 years, I mean, Sasha, Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte was what 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it'd be another couple of years before we're due for another.
Yeah.
One.
Truth.
So anyways, so we'll find out what happens. But yeah, I mean, there are too many like things that line up for Edge not to win at the end of WrestleMania. I mean, it's the 10-year anniversary of his retirement, of his having to retire, et cetera, all that stuff. I don't know. I see Edge versus Roman one-on-one, and Edge pulls out the victory at WrestleMania. That's sort of where I'm leaning right now.
I'm just really pessimistic they're going to have Roman lose to anybody anytime soon.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yep. So if you had to choose today, your prediction would be low confidence points, but on Roman Reigns. Yeah. I'd probably be low confidence points on Edge. So anyway, SmackDown kicked off with Nia Jax getting her title shot against Sasha Banks.
Hold on. There was a backstage argument between Sasha and Bianca Belair preceding this match.
I did not see that.
Oh, okay. So the show kicks off and they're announcing stuff, and then they go backstage and Sasha and Bianca are arguing. Bianca is wondering why Sasha, seeing as they have a tag title bout on Sunday, agreed to this match tonight. And Sasha was arguing with her, and it says, well, it's not really about me. It's about Reginald. And Bianca says, aha! Reginald cost me the match last week. Reginald is still in your head. Tell Sasha this match was a bad decision. Don't think she's going to go out there. He says, I don't think I'm going to go out there and save you. And Sasha snaps back at her. I didn't ask you to. Her music starts. She goes out to the ring.
Ah, there you go. So, yeah, Bianca does come down to root her on not too long into the match. I love when Nia does this, when she swings somebody's head into a turnbuckle.
Muffler on, I know, it's great.
She had control for most of this match. Towards the finish, we saw Sasha get Nia into a bank statement. Shayna and Bianca sort of take their bickering into the ring. Shayna, aiming for Sasha, inadvertently kicks Nia in the head while the ref is distracted. Sasha then gets a jackknife pin for 3 on Nia Jax and wins that match.
Next, we had an Edge interview. He's asked by Kayla, how's it feel to have a match on SmackDown the first time in a decade? And Edge says, hey, this show's always kind of felt like home. Some of my greatest moments happened here, as well as the worst moment of my career when he had to retire. Says it's surreal to be back, but also feels right. Just like it felt right to insert myself into what was going on last week. Hey, Daniel Bryan, he deserves a fair shake at Fastlane. And Edge says, I feel like Jey Uso could be one of the greatest talents, but not when he's walking in Roman's shadow.
After that, we had a Seth Rollins promo.
There was a Nia and Shayna bit backstage before that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Nia's like, hey, Shayna, how are you going to do it? How are you going to make this up to me? Because you and I are going to have beef. And Shayna said, how about this? I'm going to get a match with Bianca. I'm going to kick her head clean off.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Seth Rollins promo. This was like basically just recapping. It was as if he had just like done his return to SmackDown was like the week prior or something. Because he talks about, he recaps his return to SmackDown. He runs down Cesaro as being disrespectful. They show footage of last week or 2 weeks ago.
It was last week.
It was last week, the Murphy thing, yeah. Back to Seth. He threatens Cesaro. They go close up on him, says, you're the biggest waste of potential in the WWE. He's going to continue, and then Shinsuke Nakamura comes down. His music hits. He comes down. Seth starts jawing at him. Talk about disrespect. You're disrespecting me right now. Shinsuke grabs the mic out of his hand and says, shut up. Seth attacks him. Nakamura lays him out, sends him running. Nakamura loads up one of those, come on. And Seth is like, no, don't you do it. Don't you do it. He says, come on. So Seth attacks. He eats a Kinshasa instead.
Yeah. Seth was promising some serious drip tonight. He delivered that. That suit was something else.
It was like a gradient. It was
like
white, and then it gradiented into blue. It was cool.
Navy blue, yeah. But it wasn't like a smooth gradient. It was like
a feathered edge. It was a feathered edge, yeah.
It looked like the edges were done by Jackson Pollock. So they looked like paint splatters.
Oh, was it splattery? I didn't notice the splattery.
Like it, yeah.
Okay,
it looked like
all
it was
right.
splattery.
That's pretty rad.
But he had like navy blue pants and then a matching shirt and tie. Yeah, he's delivering on the fashion front. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Seth not taking himself seriously is working so much better than.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's good. His reactions to everything are really great. And then we're gonna get this match at Fastlane, man. How can you be mad at that? That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
That's really great
good stuff.
I don't know if we probably have. They've both been around for a while now, but
I think they've wrestled before. Now the tag division on SmackDown is a bit of a mess. This is a mess. I know they're building up to probably a 4-way match at Mania, and that's why it's a mess. I get it. It's a mess though. So we get Street Profits versus Rey and Dom Mysterio. You got Dolph and Robert Roode on commentary. So long story short, essentially Dom rolls up Dawkins to get the win. The Street Profits are setting up for the Doomsday Blockbuster. Rey dives between Dawkins' legs, goes and trips up forward off the top rope, and then Dom kind of does a Ronda roll-up situation on Dawkins to get the victory. As soon as that happens, Gable and Otis storm out to ringside, tell the Mysterios, we've already embarrassed you. In case you forgot, Otis squashed you a couple weeks back. And then Gable turns around to start talking to Street Profits that Rey and Dom take them out. Hit a couple high-flying moves, go to commercial, come back. No surprise, we get the Mysterios versus Alpha Academy. And then the Street Profits are joining Dolph and Bob Roode on commentary. So they're bickering back and forth. You got Otis dominating Rey Mysterio for the better part of this match. And then later on, Dom he was pretty much having his way with the Mysterios.
Dom was blown up by the end of all this. He had a stellar night tonight. Dom really did, to work these 2 matches and not really, I mean, there might have been a goof here or there. He was really good tonight for as much work as he had to put in. Gable German suplex, he did that great rolling German suplex. He destroyed Dom with that, and then he ate a frog splash from Otis to eat the loss there. Yeah. But man, I thought this was really good from Dom and Ray. It wouldn't shock me at all if by the time WrestleMania came around, given that they're doing this fatal 4-way, or it seems like they're going to do a 4-way at Mania, probably in the kickoff show. It wouldn't shock me to see the Mysterios come away with this. It really would not. Like, they seem like they're peaking at the right time.
Seemingly. But from a creative standpoint, this all kind of felt very messy. At least I thought so. It felt messy to me.
I mean, the Street Profits aren't a thrown together team. The champions are basically thrown together. Dom and Ray, I mean, Dom is pretty green. Alpha Academy, they're still working on it. It's the kind of thing where, but they work together. It's the kind of thing where, it's a mess. It's a mess, but I'm happy they've got some tag team stuff going on in their division. I honestly, they just need to do what they do with the women's tag titles. I don't see why they wouldn't just, because they have enough tag teams across main roster for a single set of tag titles, Like, they really need to unify these things. Well, they're not going to, but
they either need to really unify them or do more with the tag division across the board on both Raw and SmackDown. Right now on Raw, you have 2 teams essentially. You have the New Day and the Hurt Business, and that's pretty much it. I know Lucha House Party are there, but they're not.
And now you've got AJ and Amos. I mean, that's not a real tag team. Yeah. Because they're not registered according to Kofi.
Yeah. Once they file the necessary paperwork, then we'll talk about it.
I mean, you're talking about there's, even if you have 3 on Raw, you have 4 here on SmackDown. That's 7 tag teams. That's not enough for 2 divisions.
Once Jimmy Uso's back, that's another really good team for SmackDown.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it'd be much more compelling. And honestly, I like what they do with the women's titles. I like that all of a sudden, if we haven't seen Nia and Shayna on SmackDown for a little while, it's like, they'll show up, or vice versa. They'll show up on Raw. That one time they showed up on NXT was pretty cool. But I don't know. I like how they treat the tag titles on the women's side of things. Do the same thing for the men. Like, there's just not enough teams. If you have that many teams, because here's the thing, like, I don't know. It's not like they do the tag division any justice in the first place. Like,
no, not really.
No. So I don't know. After that, we had Sami Zayn and his documentary crew backstage. And Kevin Owens comes over, and Sammy's excited. And he's like, hey, I haven't heard from you. Are you going to be involved in my documentary production company? And Kevin Owens like, man, I don't know. I'm still not sure. And Sammy's like, what are you not sure about? And Owens says, have you ever just considered that all this stuff that you say, that you're just twisting reality so it fits your own narrative? He says, I've never once heard you say that something is your fault when something bad happens. And he's like, what are you talking about? They've got to you too. I know it. They've got to you too. And he's like, who's they? Just explain who they are. And he's like, listen, just come out for my match with Corbin tonight so you can see what I'm talking about yourself. And if you don't see anything, I will drop everything.
Yeah. Let me get a Daniel Bryan promo first. He's hyping up the main event stipulation as well. It says if Jey wins, we know we're going to get. He'll do everything in his power to make sure Roman wins. And if Roman was a champ, Daniel Bryan says we thought he wouldn't need that help in the first place. Edge, however, the ultimate opportunist, he'll do anything to get what he wants. And what he wants, apparently, is to face Roman at Mania 1-on-1. And he gets it because Edge doesn't want to face him. Edge thinks he can beat Roman Reigns, but there's a difference between Daniel Bryan and Edge. Daniel Bryan knows he can beat Roman, which is what he's going to do at Fastlane. He's going to do to Roman what he did to Jey, and that's make him tap out.
Tap out.
Roman comes to the ramp. Heyman hands him a mic. Roman says he can deal with him telling these little lies like, oh, Daniel Bryan, you're not that ambitious, so on and so forth. But you're coming out here and lie on the tribal chief? You can't tap Roman out. You got a better chance of shooting lightning out of your ass or sprouting wings and flying out of here.
Little man.
And Roman makes this point. I believe it's true. No one has ever made Roman Reigns tap out. He says he'd rather lose an arm than tap.
Ew.
He'd rather die in that ring than tap out to someone like Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan just goes, oh, well, that's pretty strong.
Yeah. Very dramatic there, Roman.
Make no mistake, Roman is talking about all these lies, but the head of the table stuff is all lies. They're all delusions. Everyone thinks they're invincible till they're not. Everybody thinks they're untap-outable till they tap.
That was such a Warrior line right there.
I know. Bryan's not just going to make him quit. He says he's going to break him of his delusions. Bryan says he hopes Roman doesn't die, but whether he taps or doesn't, he's beating Roman for that Universal title at Fastlane.
This next bit was awesome, Larson.
It was fantastic.
We
this
had
the thumbnail, the least anticipated match in SmackDown history.
We had this weird video package promo, a little hype video. It was like 30 seconds long,
really
hyping up the match no one asked for, but you're getting anyways. Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin next. This was hilarious. I love when these little inside jokes make it to broadcast because who knows what the story is behind this. It was great.
It was funny.
30-second funny promo, very self-aware. Yeah, this was absolutely hilarious. Obviously, this was a rib on somebody. But
even
yeah.
like I don't know how they described Sammy, but they called Baron the most unlikable wrestler in SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had an equally as unflattering description of Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very self-aware. It's pretty funny.
It was pretty great. So yeah, then we had Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Sammy, of course, just spends the entire match trying to cheat. At one point, he went for a pin, had his legs way up on the top rope, got called on it. He tried to take the pad off the turnbuckle, gave Baron an elbow, but then the ref started saying, hey, stop doing that. He walked right into an end of days. Kevin Owens is on commentary the entire time, just being like, yeah, dude, he's just trying to cheat this entire time. There's nothing going on here. So Sammy comes over and he was like, did you see that? Did you see that? I was like, no, man, the ref was doing his job. There was nothing bad. He was like, no, they're all out to get me. So he starts walking away. Kevin Owens turns to commentary. He starts trying to talk to them again. All of a sudden, he gets annihilated by a haluva kick from Sami Zayn, just coming from out of nowhere, basically off screen, destroys him. So that's awesome, man. We got to get that match at WrestleMania.
We'll get that match at WrestleMania. Hopefully, Kevin Owens gets to jump off the pirate ship like he wants to.
It's going to be a barn burner.
Oh heck yeah!
So typically in WWE history, these split screen interviews they're not very good.
No.
Some examples, of course, probably if we're going to power rank the really bad ones or the worst of them. Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar.
Terrible.
Was one of the worst segments. It was so cringy. It was so awkward to watch.
Yeah. Especially when Braun forgot his line.
That's, kind of why. It was just a lot of heavy breathing, and Brock was laughing at him openly.
Yeah.
There's been a variety of these over the years.
Neville and Austin Aries had a good one on 205.
That was a good one, yeah.
There's been a handful of good ones.
Yeah.
This was a good one. At least I thought. It was Big E, Apollo Crews. So Michael Cole asked Big E any chance they could settle the differences. And Big E says, no, it's over. You want to talk about reconciliation? All I want to do is talk about vengeance. Says Apollo Crews has 2 days till Fastlane. And if I was him, I'd take those 2 days and appreciate the normal function of my limbs. Take those days and enjoy the present because the new future is bleak. Sunday, he says, I'm going to retain the Intercontinental title, no question. And Crews is going to get everything that he deserves.
And Apollo says, what I deserve, if I were you, I'd think twice about talking to Nigerian royalty with such disrespect. Goes on and talks about an old Nigerian proverb. He says, you will see the Nigerian warrior in me. I will finally have what I deserve. All my ancestors will watch as I stand over your mangled body, and I'll have the Intercontinental Championship.
And then Big E responds, hey, let's not wait till Sunday. So he starts taking off his mic, storms out, gets on a golf cart, and starts driving through Tropicana Field looking for Apollo Crews. He's got his logo on the golf cart.
It's a Big E branded golf cart.
It looked like it, yeah. It was a pretty quick shot, so I thought it looked like it was his logo on the little hood of the golf cart. So he's driving around back where like the bullpens are at Tropicana Field, and then we cut to some corridor. Crews is walking in there, kind of shouting for Big E. Big E hears this, drives through the door into the corridor, and starts attacking Apollo Crews, hits him with a garbage can, rams him into a locker, into the wall, a couple doors. Finally, some refs and producers come and break it up, and then Apollo Crews gets in the golf cart and drives off.
I love that he drove off.
That was great. I really do appreciate that while they're during their time at the Trop, they're taking advantage of the golf carts.
I'm very happy that they have the sensibility to not have Big E mock the accent. This is one of my concerns that I mentioned a while back when they started doing this. It's an easy target.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. He's out for vengeance. I really appreciate that this is the first feud where they really have done a really good job showing Big E, showing his dramatic side. I mean, there's no hint of cartoonishness here. I liked it. I thought it was really good.
It was good. It was good.
After that, we had, I believe, Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler.
Correct.
Nia left this match like mid-match. Was there something that happened? I think I missed it.
So at the very beginning, before the match even starts, Sasha comes out to the ramp, tells Bianca, "Hey, you got this," and then she goes backstage. Like, why she couldn't do that backstage, I don't know. So anyways, at one point, Shayna tosses Bianca out of the ring right at Nia's feet and starts talking to her. I think more or less, "Hey, let's beat her up.
Soften her up," yeah.
And then Nia just walks off. And Shayna's, confused, wonder what she's doing. And then, Bianca hits Shayna with the spine buster, gets a 2, and then Natalya and Tamina hit the ring, lay out Bianca and Shayna. I believe they toss Shayna on the announce table. Bianca fights back for a bit, and then Tamina hits with a super kick, and then an Uranagi.
After that, what did you think of it's funny, I saw so many people on Twitter being like, "I have no interest in Natalya and Tamina as a tag team. I don't care about them." All you got to do for me is apparently put on a pair of jeans and look like a couple of badasses as a tag team. I was like, oh, cool. Like they're they're out here. They're doing their thing. I was kind of into it. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Add them to the match so you have somebody to take a pin. Maybe, I don't know. Help me out on that prediction math there, WWE. Show me who's going to eat the pin here.
Finally, main event. Edge versus Jey Uso. Daniel Bryan was on commentary. This is decent. This is a fun match. Simple enough story. Edge was going after Jey Uso's arm for a spell. Jey Uso started targeted Edge's ribs. Is working over pretty viciously.
Is he going to have rib tape on Sunday as special enforcer?
Potentially, but I think he'll have a shirt on over it.
I want the rib tape on over the shirt.
Is there precedent for that?
I don't think there is.
Well, how about this? You can have both. You can have the best of both worlds. You can have the rib tape and the T-shirt. He just cuts the T-shirt off.
Yeah, so you can see it.
Right above rib tape. So half shirt.
Give himself a targeted.
Exactly. The end sees Edge kick, super kick. He hits DDT, looks for a spear. Jey hits him with a super kick. Then falls with a splash off the top rope. He's slow to make the cover because he's selling arm. Finally gets 2. And then Edge hits him with an arm wringer and then a spear to get the win. Edge turns around and Roman spears him. And this is great. He gets in the ring, starts talking trash. Daniel Bryan's like, "Come on in here. Come in and tap me out.
Come on, tap me out."
And Daniel Bryan's like, "All right." Takes his headset off, about to get in. Jey lays him out from behind, tosses him in the ring. He, too, eats spear.
Yeah. Roman stands tall. However,
doesn't matter. Defies math.
He defies the math, Larson. He defies the math.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's answer a couple of questions here.
Sure.
Here on the Twitch, Jorge D says, which wrestling storyline in all of history would you like to see the Snyder cut of? The original plan that they had to pivot due to a major injury like Kofi replacing Ali. I have my answer. We've never seen Pumpkin Balor versus Sister Abigail Larson. The match that instead we got Bullet Club Leader versus Bullet Club Leader, Finn versus AJ, was originally supposed to be, I think it was a TLC a couple of years ago. Was supposed to be like a Halloween pumpkin themed Balor, Demon Balor versus Bray Wyatt in like a muumuu or something.
Yeah, he had some face paint on, I think, too, or some makeup on as well, yeah.
Right. That's what I'm sad we never got. Do you have a Snyder cut that you'd like to see?
Yeah, I want to see what we would have gotten Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, a match that never happened that Macho Man wanted. I wanted 2 years.
I think they did have a match. He wanted like a 2-year-long feud.
He wanted like a big feud and a big Mania match.
Yeah, that never happened. Yeah. EV with the bit says, maybe send another title your way, friendos. Do we need more belts?
I don't think I mean, that'd be cool and everything, but I don't think we have anything to put on the line for another title.
I'm just trying to do something. Says Edge accidentally causes Daniel Bryan to lose, and Edge puts his title shot on the line against Bryan on night 1 as a make good. I don't know if Edge would do that.
I mean, Daniel Bryan, you can see how he lives rent free in Roman's head sometimes. Maybe he'll do the same thing to Edge.
Maybe. Zoe Conrado, is it just me, or does it make more sense story-wise for it to be a triple threat at Mania with Bryan winning and Edge turns heel afterwards?
Wait, Bryan winning at WrestleMania, like the Universal Championship? No, I don't think there's a chance of that happening. The Edge, this is all being set up for Edge to have, that championship. Him to be the guy that takes it off. If anybody's going to be the guy to take it off Roman, it's going to be Edge.
Adam Beveridge, I would assume WWE are worried about Edge injuring himself night 1 and being out of night 2. They would want to be careful.
That's not a terrible point.
That is
Enforcer just texted me, said, remember, I'm here for predictions. I know, Enforcer. We
know, Enforcer. Thank you for reminding Steve, though. We are forgetful.
I told him to remind me. That's right. I said, remind us. Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you, Enforcer.
He's so anxious. He wants to show off that Trios title.
Well, who can blame him?
It's a beautiful title.
EV gifting a sub to E-Dub Mayhaus. Thank you, EV. Oops, sorry. Have they announced plans once baseball starts in about 2 weeks? As far as Thunderdome, not officially, no.
No, they haven't.
I know John Alba, I believe, reported that there was talks about using the arena, I think, at University of South Florida, which is also in Tampa.
Let's see here.
Oh, wow. It's quite a question from Night by Night here.
Oh, please go ahead.
While on a weekend trip to attend a family friend's wedding in Lincoln, Nebraska, he stumbled across a lovely hole-in-the-wall diner where they make some of the finest hot dogs you've ever tasted, right up Steve's alley. While eating, you decide that the rest of your time on the trip would be better spent enjoying more hot dogs, but you'll need to make sure nobody notices your absence at the wedding. What SmackDown superstar do you ask to dress as you and be your stand-in?
John Cena. And they'd be like, wow, you look
great,
amazing.
Steve.
And they wouldn't know the difference because I've been told so many times I've got Cena face. To this day, new viewers of my Friendoville channel are like, oh, you look like a cross between Wahlberg and Cena.
If it weren't a SmackDown superstar, I'd say Tommaso Ciampa. It's not that we necessarily look alike, but he's got the gray in the beard, in the hair.
Yeah, and yet he's like 12 years younger than you.
Well, he's between
something. No, he's 8 years. He's 8 years, yeah.
Between 10 and 8.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We're kayfabing your age. David Matushik. No, they don't do this very often. He says, do you think WWE needs to stop degrading most of their talent during hype packages for certain matches? They only did that one match. They only did that one joke hype video, unless he has like a example of another one I'm not thinking of.
White Brownie with Shayna and Nia teasing a breakup. Is it possible they lose titles before Mania and Shayna goes on the challenge Asuka? I'd be surprised. I kind of feel like it's going to be Charlotte versus Asuka.
Somebody mentioned in our chat that Charlotte was taken off some WrestleMania poster.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I still think it's going to be Charlotte Asuka. But I think that before either Nia or Shayna would get a title shot, they're going to fight each other. I mean, this is a partnership that's going to end in a feud, I think.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame if it didn't.
Yeah. Gareth, you got to rename Fastlane. What do you call the go-home pay-per-view to WrestleMania? Pit Stop.
That's good. Pit Stop.
Bathroom break.
Yeah, rest stop. There you go.
Rest stop. There you go.
Let's see.
WWE just announced that Rhea Ripley is going to make her official Raw debut on Monday.
Oh, cool. That's about time.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Ordile, I truly think Big E versus Apollo should be no DQs, false count anywhere. Thoughts? Yes, for their blow-off match. Yes, they will.
At WrestleMania, when Big E is trying to get his title back.
Yeah, but they just announced today, I think, that Drew versus Sheamus is going to be no holds barred.
Oh, boy, that's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Let's see here. Rich with an observation here says, took a shot every time someone said, it's been 10 years since Edge had a SmackDown match. He says, I was wasted 7 minutes into the show.
Stevens J, how would you advertise your channel like the Sammy versus Corbin video package? Podcasts that nobody should be listening to.
Doesn't the show speak for itself in that regard?
Yeah, kind of does.
Oh man, let's see here.
Just pull up any clip and that'll be it.
Let's see here. James Rodriguez. What's a common wrestling maneuver that you would be hesitant to perform out of fear of botching so bad you might injure your opponent? A common wrestling move. I mean, kind of name one,
Take
right?
your pick, yeah.
I mean, I know with like, okay, so for a hip toss, that's the other person. Like they're literally just jumping into the air. They're doing all the work.
Yeah. I would find a way to mess that up, though. That's my thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It would like, because, you're supposed to go with the person. I would like stop short or something, and then they would like latch onto my arm and dislocate their shoulder.
Like yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Baseline Brandon, thoughts on Wrestling Observer newsletter giving 4.75 rating to Britt versus Thunder Rosa. What would you two give it?
He couldn't just give it 5 goddamn stars. Like, you see her backstage, she was like, yeah, man, let's get this one. This is my goal, to get a 5-star match.
I know.
Can you just give it 5 stars, you idiot?
I know.
You big dummy.
Die Hard Homer says Snyder cut Bryan Danielson versus Kurt Angle, and I believe PWG, but Bryan got signed.
Versus Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
In PWG?
That's what he say. That's what Die Hard Homer says. I've never heard of that, but that'd be crazy.
I have never heard that before.
Shane's birthday tweet is pointing out I've never tapped out or things like that, basically mean that it's going to be a story beat in the match or feud. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. He's going to be on the verge of tapping out, and Special Enforcer is going to do something.
Dangum Q, having seen Jey Uso for a long time, when Jimmy comes back, it will now be easy for me to tell them apart.
Sorry, I'll talk about this in the post show.
Okay.
We have a wrestling news now esque rumor here in the chat.
Oh dear. Well, you said that too. You said that too. That now when Jimmy comes back, it'll be easier for you to tell the two apart. You mentioned that.
That's what I'm thinking. I like a couple times I've seen matches of theirs as the Usos together, and I'm like, oh, holy shit, I can totally tell them apart now. So yeah, I think that I'll be able to actually tell them apart. I've seen Jey on his own so much that as long as Jimmy sort of, if he keeps his hair just a little bit different, and he keeps his facial structure different from his brothers, which it is. I mean, they look alike, but they don't look so. I mean, they're not literally, they're not like the same friggin' person. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to tell them apart without looking at tattoos.
All right, very well. Golden Eagle, if WWE was open-minded about the Forbidden Door having wrestlers be a part of WrestleMania, what's the ideal dream match to see? Like, I could see Cody versus Roman for the Universal title. Lol, Cody goes over.
Yeah. Ideal dream match?
Oh, it's Cody versus Triple H.
Yeah, it's Cody versus Triple H. Die Hard Homer here says, back when Angle first signed with TNA. Oh, okay. So when Angle signed with TNA, PWG came within days of putting on Bryan Danielson versus Kurt Angle.
Oh, wow.
The match got canned when TNA pulled Angle from the booking.
Oh, gotcha.
It was never really explained why.
Wow. That'd have been something else.
That's crazy, yeah. Didn't know that. Let's see here. All right, we'll end on this. Sorry, I'm baked. It's Church Jackson says, my birthday is Monday. I'll probably be too stoned to remember to ask on Monday. Can Stone Cold Steve Austin cut me a birthday promo? All right. Church Jackson, time to go to church. It's the birthday church. Happy birthday to you. You live in a church. What?
What?
That's what I got. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Twitch chat. Stick around. We'll hang out for a little bit. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.